Hello, I am Idress. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the neoclassical criticism, and in this criticism we're going to take criticism of John Dryden. John Dryden has written an essay of dramatic poesy. As we know, criticism flourished in England during the restoration of Stuarts. An essay of dramatic poesy deals with the view of major critic and the taste of men and women of the time of Dryden. The work is in the form of semi-drama, thus making abstract theories interesting. In the late 17th century, Shakespeare was severely criticized for his careless attitude towards the mixing of genres. It was Dryden who revealed Shakespeare to the height for his natural genius. The narrative of an essay of dramatic poesy has four debaters, among whom Neander is the one who holds the view of Dryden. Unlike the other characters, Neander doesn't diminish the arguments that are common, that are on the contrary to his views. Though he himself paves the modern drama, he doesn't blame others. Summary: the beginning of the narrative, an essay of dramatic poesy or of dramatic poesy, is as follows. A bell is going on between England and the Netherlands. Poor gentlemen, namely Criticism, Eugenius, Lysandius, and Neander, are traveling by board to see the bell and start a discussion on the modern literature. Criticism opened the discussion by saying that none of his contemporaries, that is modern, can equal the standards and the rules set by the ancient Greeks and the Romans. Eugenius restrains him from wasting time on finding the demerits. He asks him to find the relative merit in Greek and moderns. Views of Criticism. Critic favors the classical drama, that is the drama of Aristotle, who believed that drama is imitation of life. Critics hold that drama of such ancient is successful because it depicts life. He said that both classical and neoclassical favors the rule and unites time, place, and action. According to the critics, modern dramatists are shadow of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Seneca, and Terence. That is, Elizabethan dramatist Ben Jonson borrowed from the classic, and felt proud to call himself modern Horace. The classical is more skillful in language than their successors. At the end, he ends up with his conversation. Views of Eugenius. Eugenius paves the modern dramatists. However, instead of telling about the virtues of moderns, he criticizes the fault of classical playwrights. According to him, classical drama isn't divided into acts and also lack originality. Their tragedies are based on worn-out myths that are already known to the audiences, and their comedies are based on the overused curiosity of stolen heresies and miraculous restoration. Their disregard poetic justice, instead of punishing the vice and rewarding the virtues, they have often shown the prosperous wickedness and an unhappy devotion. The classical drama also lack affection. The heroes of Homer were lover of appetite, food, etc. while the modern characters of French drama give up everything, sleep, water, and food, for their own love or for the sake of love. Views of Lycidius, sorry, views of Lycidius. It's the Lycidius. Lycidius, favored French dramatist of early 17th century. French dramatist led by the Barry Cornell strictly followed units of time, pace, and action. The French dramatists never mix tragedy and comedy. They strictly adheres to the poetic justice that is reward the virtue and the punishment the vice. Reward the virtue and punishment the vice. For this, they even alter the original situation. The French dramatists interview truth with fiction to make it interesting, bringing elements that leads to pit and borrow from history to reward the virtues which he was earlier deprived of. They prefer they prefer emotions over the plots. Violent action takes place off stage and are told by the messengers rather than showing them in real. Views of Nanda. Nanda contradict the uh, Lycidius argument paving the superiority for drama. He takes back the greatness of Elizabethans. For him, Elizabethans fulfill the drama's requirement, that is, imitation of life. French drama rises perfections but has no soul or emotion as it primarily focuses on the plot. For Nanta, tragicomedy is the best form of drama. Both sadness as well as joy are heightened, are very high, and are well set, are set by side, set side by side. Hence, it is closest to life. He believes that subplot enriched the drama. This French drama, having a single plot, lacks this vividness. Further, Samuel Johnson, who defends Shakespeare's disregard of unity, he believes that adherence to the unites unities prevents depth. According to him, time vision from set rules and unites give diverse themes to drama. Ananda rejects the argument that change of place and times diminishes dramatic credibility in drama. For him, human action will seems more naturally, or human action will seems more natural way if they get enough times to develop. He also argues that Shakespeare is the man of a man who, of all the modern and perhaps ancient poets, and largest and most comprehensive soul. Process, Beaumont, and John Plater. Dramas are rich in wit and have smoothness and polished in their language. Nanda says, I am apt to believe the English language in them arrived as its highest perfection. If Ben Jonson is a genius of correctness, Shakespeare excels him in wit. His arguments and with the popular comparison, Shakespeare was the Homer, the father of our dramatic poet. Johnson was the Virgil, the pattern of elaborate writing. I admire him, but I love Shakespeare. Thus, for him, Elizabethan are superior because they have a variety of themes, emotions, dimensions, wit. They don't adhere to rule as well. Thus, their drama is really an imitation of life. Views on rhyme and drama. At the end of the discussion, there is an argument between the Krites and Nanter over the rhyme in plays. Krites believe that black verse, as the poetic form nearest to the prose, is most suitable for drama. On the other hand, Nanter defends rhyme as it briefly and clearly explains everything. The board on which they were riding reaches its destination, and the steer at the Somerset House, and the discussion ends without any conclusion being made. Thank you very much. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Do share my video and also give me thumbs up and comment below the video. Thank you very much.